Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Tanks with Black Knight. Today it's all about T49, the new American Tier 8 light tank. A lot of you might have seen previews about this tank from the test server, from maybe Mighty Jingles or Quickie Baby, maybe even Circumflexes, or seen some live stream from one of those guys, where this tank was featured too. And well, some of them might even have asked to derp or not to derp. Here you see it with the derp gun. And well, this is the 90mm gun, and it's only got hash, heat and HE. It's actually got hash shells, although it doesn't really say it, but it does have 102mm penetration. That's a little bit lacking for a 90mm gun at tier 8. So probably this derp gun would be better, but we're gonna see that in the games, because well, this is the real life server. We're not on a preview here or anything, just a small review and just showing what this tank actually can do with a derp gun if you take your time. And if you're pretty lucky actually too. So first, a small heads up. Like the other two derps in the game, the tier 6 and the tier 7, who both are Russian. Here's one, the KV2 with a 152mm gun, and the SU-152 with, of course, a 152mm gun. Those two can just herp a derp along and do what they want. This one especially because, well, it does have some armor, and the SU-152, it's a lot lower than the other tank, than the KV2. So yeah, well, and it has a lot better camo rating too. But when you're looking at the T49, it's not as big as the KV2. It's got a lot of doesn't have a lot of armor like the KV2, but it does have a bit more health than the KV2 and the SU-152 both have. It does have 1100 hit points. It can one-shot itself. Don't be afraid to get one-shotted by a T49 if you're in a light tank of tier 8, because it does a maximum of over 1100 damage. But it does have to be a higher damage roll because its average is only 910. That means that its lowest is under 700. So, well, you can have a lot of luck with this tank, but also a lot of bad luck. Its engine power with 550 horsepower is more than enough, giving it a power to weight ratio of 23.68. So it does move along pretty easily. It does a top speed of 72.4 kilometers per hour. And well, although the traverse speed and the third traverse speed are both below average for the tier 8 light tanks, with such a big gun and a light tank, you shouldn't be counting on dogfighting. You'd probably be like, yeah, I'll just try to get behind him, pump a shot right in his behind, and then disappear behind a building or something like that, and hopefully get away with it. But well, how that will work out, you'll probably see in one of the matches, or maybe not. Can't really remember anything about those matches because it was a while ago. And well, the gun, its penetration, it lacks, but the damage makes up for it. If you hit a tier 10 tank with this gun, you even might be able to do about 200 damage if you're lucky. And it can annoy the hell out of them because, well, you can damage their tracks or their gun or the viewports. So it's pretty annoying. And with 100% crew on it, it also already has below 20 seconds of reload speed. So, well, there's only one tank with a derp gun that reloads faster. That's the SU-152. And I do not have the Brothers in Arms kills on this tank. This tank has a 14-second reload time. The KV-2 has, with Brothers in Arms, about 19.81 seconds reload, which is at the maximum speed with a gun rammer. And the T49, I do have a gun rammer on it, but it already has 19.81 seconds. So Brothers in Arms will make it even faster. And that means it's actually a KV2 at tier 8 with 72.4 kilometers per hour. It can cause a lot of fun. And that's what we're going to see in the coming matches. View range and signal range, well, it's pretty standard for a tier 8 light tank, 400 meters and 745 base meters signal range, but well, mine's a little bit higher it seems, probably because my loader, I think, is also the radio man, but that doesn't really matter. And well, we're just gonna look at some of the games I've played with this tank then. And we're starting off on mines in a tier 9 game. And well, on mines it's the most important job for a light tank to get on the hill, at least if you have the potential to do a lot of damage. For example, the 1390 is suited on the hill pretty good. And well, the other tier 8 light tanks are pretty good to have on the hill. And so is this tank, the T49. Because this massive derp gun is able to actually do a whole lot of damage with just one hit. And you're fast enough to get on the hill before other tanks are able to. Enemy Bulldog should actually get to the hill, but he's not even trying, I think. T32 is hoping to get a shot in on me, but instead of getting a shot in, I'm pulling back far enough to evade it. Two super Pershings there. I'm looking to get a shot on one of them. Instead fire at the E50, but hit the rocks just behind the Centurion and splash the Centurion for 159 damage. So that's derping for you, alright. I named this game for myself the ultimate derp. Findable on what replays as well the ultimate derp, because well, you'll see it's controlled how I derp in this game, but it's well also quite a lot of luck. Thought I couldn't hit him until I saw him moving his behind just around the building, and that's a 748 damage roll. That finished him off pretty easily, pretty nicely. 110 with just over 900 health remaining. Enemy Ferdinand just killed our T29. Hoping to get a shot in, but nope, not in it. In his straight in the side, but I did find his fuel tank. Now, enemy 110 is still giving my team a hard time there. So I decided let's derp him too. And he's obliging pretty nicely, and my shell flies straight into his rear. And does 904 average damage. I was laughing pretty much now, because well, hello, a tier 8 light tank with high explosive shells that doesn't even have 100 millimeters of penetration getting 2 big hits off. And well, the Tiger, 439 damage. There was a sight of his turrets, if you saw that correctly. And well, it actually did over 400 damage and didn't even penetrate. Because if it penetrated, it would have done at least about 700 damage. Or even finished him off. But well, this game is already over. It's, well, 10-2. They are not going to be able to pull this one straight. Knowing that the Waffle Tractor of Panzer IV went behind the little hill there, and only the Bulldog was able to hit me, although we didn't even know he was there. I pulled out, and well, that was actually my last hit in this game. I should have been able to hit the T49 now, if I didn't move. Spotted the Bulldog there, and you can see the shell vaguely flying right over his head and landing in the water behind him. And I can't reload fast enough, so this game is finished. And well, that actually brought me a lot of ribbons, although you can't see it here, and my Mastery Badge 2nd class. With over 3000 experience in the first win, I did 2nd best in damage and 1st place in experience, and made a profit of 30,000 credits. And then we're going to be, instead of the most awesome derp moments, to the luckiest derp moments of all. And again, well, of course it's the T49. This whole video is about the T49. But now I'm in a tier 10 game, and well, it's too bad those 2 AMX50 Bs are on my team. Because, well, penetrating an AMX50B is a lot easier than penetrating an IS-7 or an E100. And we've barely started this game here on the West Coast. Didn't even see him. Okay, how did I hit that? Well, he's instantly complaining about it. And there we have it. I'm a retarded lurker. Well guys, it seems I'm retarded. It's actually congratulating me after that. Well, I'm just throwing him a little bit more, saying no aim, pure luck for the win. This is where, well, that's should actually not have happened. But I instantly apologize. I didn't want to hit him. I was aiming for the other bad chat, who I could have hit. And he says no problem, so well, I still feel guilty about it, but I can't help it. I do have to, well, look for some opportunity to shoot now. Teammate Patton is up there. Although Patton isn't really that good. He might be able to get some assistance from me. And that IS-7 wasn't really nice to me. Need to pull back. There we have it. Patton is beyond saving now. He shouldn't be staying around. Because, well, that finished him off. Patton and IS-3 for illegal mods. What? Mods? Yeah, I do use mods myself, but illegal mods? How can they know if they are using illegal mods? I didn't report them. That one was close. Yeah, well, you can't have everything. AMX50B finishes him off, so No problem there. Now, let's see. Rheinmetall Borsig with full health. I have the possibility to one-shot him. But nope. Denied. Only 1,000 damage. And then I say only 1,000 damage. I was even lucky to hit him. I couldn't stop laughing at this point. But I needed to keep my calm too. T5041. A critical hit. I probably took his gun out. I can't really tell about it, so don't know if I took his gun out. But well, the last hit should be possible to get for me. And where the hell did that shell go? It couldn't have bounced because it would have said that it would have bounced. It just totally missed. I think I hit the rock behind him, but I'm not sure. And well, a Centurion, he got him wrecked. He wasn't even close anyway, so I do have to think a little bit about what I'm doing now. And yeah, well, let's just suck it and go forward. Let's go up here. And then via this route we should be able to wreak some havoc. Well, derp gun is a derp gun, but if you're being spotted while doing something like this, there's a high chance they will be ready for you when you come up over the edge. And I didn't get spotted. I had him in my sights, but somehow the shell didn't even land close. But T5041 manages to finish him off. Take a better look, because well, I didn't take a very long look, and the Batchat was there camping with those two tank destroyers. But well, he manages to get closer to the T-34 and IS-7 of the enemy team. This is where I kind of forget that I'm pretty vulnerable. Took his track off, so he couldn't really manage to get close, and that was where I didn't focus good enough on the minimap and my situational awareness. But I did notice this wreckage here. Whoa, not go too far behind it. But I do pull back in time. The IS-7 was aiming for me, not the T-5041. This is where I'd be a little bit more lucky again. That I even hit him, but it didn't really matter that much. And this game is finished after our Batchat dies. And that gave me the Mastery Badge First Class with 1606 experience. So people are doing pretty well in this tank. Not first on experience, but at least second. And out of 9 shots fired, I hit 6 of them. So that's a pretty decent result. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this replay and this video. And I'll see you guys on the battlefield.